If you're intimidated by cooking lobster, relax. It's actually not as hard as you might think.
Especially when you listen to this expert, John Langdahl from Red Lobster, here to show us a new way to prepare lobster at home. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me back.
So it's Lobster Fest. That's why we're talking about lobster.
So yeah, it goes to the end of April. So you got a few more weeks left. We're going to go through just a few different preparation styles, talk about the kinds of lobster we carry, a couple of the dishes, and we're actually going to prepare lobster in papillote.
Nice. All right.
We'll start off with the kinds of lobster we carry. So on this plate here, we have the two different species of lobsters that we actually carry. Right here is the roasted rock lobster tail. That's going to be a warm water lobster. So the texture of the meat's a little more firm, a little more meaty. We oven roast this, just a little bit of butter and seasoning on top. And then we have kind of the namesake of Red Lobster. When you think of Red Lobster, you see the logo. You're thinking of a Maine lobster. These are both Maine lobsters. They're cold water lobsters, so a little bit more sweet, a little bit more tender. The first is going to be a wood fire grilled one, so we grilled that one over the oak wood fire grill. A little garlic butter to finish, and the second's going to be a steamed Maine lobster tail. So that's just cooked in water, just like boiling water at home. That's probably the most traditional version of lobster you're going to see. Really keeps it nice and juicy, really pure.
If you're going to do that at home, how long should you steam it?
Well, depending on, you're looking, more than anything, time is really a variable, right? You're looking for 145 degrees.
Oh, okay.
So get that thermometer out. I mean, it's always a good thing to have in the kitchen. Probably should be one of the first things you have, but always look for that 145. We steam ours in water for probably about 4 or 5 minutes, depending on what temperature you're at. So yeah, those are the kinds of lobster we carry. We're actually going to prepare a lobster in papillote. In papillote is French for cooked in parchment paper. So we're going to start off with a folded over piece of parchment paper. Now we use rice pilaf as our base. Really soaks up a lot of the juices that we're going to cook the lobster in. Then we're going to add a little bit of fresh vegetables. So we have some diced Roma tomatoes here. Just going to spoon those right on top. Add however much you like. Now you could use whatever vegetables you want when they're in season. I think asparagus would be really good during the summertime. Red onion, if you like a little extra bite, a little extra kind of sweetness added there. We're going to use just the tomatoes and the green onions today. And then we're going to add the lobster tail. So this is the raw Maine lobster tail. Again, this is kind of the quintessential lobster. We're going to lay that right on top. Right. Now we're going to add a little seasoning. So this has no seasoning added. The rice is just white rice and wild rice, just a little bit of fresh vegetables. This is our Red Lobster seafood seasoning. So Old Bay, paprika, just very basic seafood seasoning. Just a little bit on top of the actual lobster meat. And then we're going to add our fat. So this is really a steamed preparation, right? We need some moisture, right? So this is a kind of garlic herb butter, a little bit of basil, a little bit of parsley on the inside. I'm going to grab the other spoon here as well. I'm going to put that right on top of the meat. You know what? Let's just add it all.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're talking.
A little extra butter is not bad.
No.
So, and since this is steamed, so that's going to melt, right? But we need to kind of enclose it. In order to do that, we're going to make it almost like a pouch. So we're going to fold it over and then crimp up the sides around the outside. Like I said, it's almost like making like an empanada.
Yeah.
Or a calzone.
Exactly.
So we're going to fold this all up. You want to get it sealed, but it doesn't need to be completely tight. Really, like I said, you are steaming it on the inside. So we throw this in the oven about 375, about 10 to 15 minutes. Again, more than anything, you're looking for that temperature of 145. Once it reaches 145, you get the finished product.
Prep work on that was fast.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. More than anything, it's really just getting everything ready in the first place, kind of doing that, the dicing and stuff. But very, very quick. Seafood's easy to cook. I think a lot of people are intimidated to cook seafood at home. They really don't think about it. I mean, you can always leave the cooking up to us if you want.
Right, that's the easiest way, for sure.
So this dish is called the lobster in papillote again, and it's actually featured on our dueling lobster tail dish. So we pair the in papillote, which is in the parchment paper, with our lobster Savannah. This is a wood fire grilled Maine lobster tail. A little bit of basil, a little bit of shrimp. My favorite flavor there is the roasted red peppers. They have a nice lobster sherry cream sauce over the top, and you can see a little bit of toasted Parmesan cheese. We do this dish basically every year during Lobster Fest. Nice way to try some new different flavors. This is our truffle mac and cheese.
That's my God, lobster mac and cheese.
Right.
Lobster and truffle, right? So very, very decadent, very, very rich. Some cavatappi noodles, lobster meat, all mixed together with that truffle cream and then some toasted Parmesan cheese on top. And then the most popular dish every year during Lobster Fest is the lobster lover's dream. So we talked about the different kinds of lobsters. This dish right here is the lobster lover's dream. It pairs both kinds of lobster we carry. So you get that firm, meaty rock lobster tail and the sweet roasted Maine lobster tail, and then a lobster shrimp linguine Alfredo as well.
Wow.
Yeah, of course, there's Cheddar Bay biscuits. You
I was
can
going to say
always
the
Cheddar Bay
biscuits. That's
There's nothing wrong
like
with
the
that,
number
right?
one reason I think I
Yeah,
go to Red Lobster.
We actually celebrated our 50th anniversary. Big
Wow.
thing for Red Lobster. Opened in 1968. We just celebrated our 50th anniversary
Congratulations, man.
this last January. So when we did so, we kind of went old school. We always do a featured drinks during some of our promotions. I know when I was here back during Endless Shrimp, we had a couple featured drinks. This is the Lobster Lover's Punch, and you can see it's actually got the old school Red Lobster logo. The logo
like
that was
that.
on the Red Lobster
nice.
back in 1968
Yeah.
when it first started. Just a little bit of berry and pineapple juices paired with rum as well. So
Good stuff,
a lot of new
man.
stuff.
How good is the decadent mac and cheese lobster? Is it just,
treat yourself.
whew,
It's
boy.
worth it.
With
Adult
that,
mac and cheese is so popular right now, and this
Yeah.
is just like taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, don't be intimidated to cook any of this at home, right? I think people think of lobster and they think, gosh, I don't want to go through all the trouble. It's very, very intense. You're
Yes.
intimidated by the item itself, but really, it's very, very simple. But like I said, you can
What's the
always,
best
you
way
can
to- I
always
mean-
leave the cooking up to us.
So I go out and I'm going to pick my own lobster. What am I looking for?
Are you talking like a whole lobster?
Yeah.
Well, we carry whole Maine lobsters in the restaurant. You're not going to find a lot of the whole lobsters at the stores locally. Of course, you can specialty order them. Really, it's just a size difference, right? We carry 1 1/4 pound or 2 pound lobsters at the restaurant. I would always go for the Maine lobster. If you're going to cook lobster at
Yeah.
home, some people prefer the warm water rock lobster because they like the texture, like the firmer texture. But really,
But
the
the Maine
flavor
is-
of the Maine lobster it
Yeah.
can't be beat. It's that rich, sweet, like I said, decadent lobster flavor that you're looking for. So.
Great stuff. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for being here.
Thank
We
you very much.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me back.
We're going to go from lobster to Happy National Grilled Cheese Day. Stay with us. Much more coming up.